Let's jump right into one of the most explosive ancient rebellions ever recorded. We're looking at Numbers chapter 16. Think of it as the ultimate ancient turf war. Absolute authority is being challenged, and spoiler alert, the consequences are literally earth-shattering.
So, what actually happens when 250 powerful, well-established leaders decide to just up and challenge the ultimate authority of the Exodus? The stakes here are absolutely massive, and let me tell you, this power struggle escalates incredibly fast.
Act 1. The Mutiny. This uprising is led by a guy named Korah, and he brings along those 250 famous princes. Their core argument? They're basically saying, hey, the entire congregation is holy, demanding universal authority. Everyone's equal, right? Well, Moses fires back. He defends his position by stating that God intentionally separated and chose very specific people for specific holy roles.
And man, the tension just skyrockets from there. Moses actually summons two of the other rebel leaders, Dathan and Abiram, but they flatly refuse to meet him. They just say, "We will not come up." They essentially tell him they aren't moving an inch. They even have the nerve to accuse Moses of dragging them out of a land of milk and honey just to kill them in the wilderness.
Act 2. The Showdown. At this point, Moses is furious. But instead of just arguing, he proposes this crazy high-stakes countermove. It's a 3-step test. He tells them, 1. Take your censers. 2. Put fire and incense in them tomorrow. And 3. We are going to see exactly who the Lord chooses right at the tabernacle door. But then, Moses sets a terrifying condition for the ringleaders. He lays down this chilling ultimatum, saying, "But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord." It's an incredibly intense line in the sand.
And the sheer escalating scale of what happens next is just wild. The ground literally splits wide open. The earth opens her mouth, and these rebel leaders, their families, all their goods, they are swallowed up. They go down alive into the pit. And then the earth just closes right back up over them.
Right on the heels of that comes this instant, staggering death toll. 250, literally at the exact same time, a divine fire sweeps out and completely consumes the 250 men who are offering the incense.
Act 3. Plague and Atonement.
Now, you'd think the earth swallowing the leaders alive would absolutely end the mutiny, right? But incredibly, the rest of the congregation revolts the very next morning. They march right up to Moses and Aaron with a really dangerous accusation. "Ye have killed the people of the Lord." And this direct defiance instantly triggers a massive, deadly outbreak of divine wrath.
It suddenly becomes a frantic race against the clock. As the wrath goes out and the plague begins, Moses commands Aaron to take his censer. Aaron literally runs right into the middle of the mutinous crowd. He stands directly between the dead and the living to make an atonement, and finally, the plague is stayed. They just barely avert total annihilation.
But the cost is staggering. 14,700 dead. To put that into perspective, that is the massive scale of destruction from the plague alone. That is completely separate from the people who died with Korah just the day before.
Which leaves us with this final, really provocative question. What does this extreme response actually reveal about ancient views on power, on rebellion, and the downright terrifying nature of divine authority? Whether you are looking at this as history or theology, it completely redefines the perceived cost of mutiny. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you something new to think about.